Hi, my name is Mustafa Al-Adhami, and I am the CEO and founder of Astek Diagnostics. A couple of years ago, my grandfather developed a urinary tract infection, and it took doctors 3 trials and 4 days to tell him exactly what antibiotic he should be taking. In the meantime, he was in pain, he was delirious, he ended up falling, breaking his hip, and he went from a very young 87-year-old to a much older one in 1 week. That day, I decided to try to do something about it. So I started Astek Diagnostics. At Astek, we're developing a 1-hour antibiotic susceptibility test. We have the vision of creating a universal machine that could work for virtually any sample type. However, our beachhead market is going to be the urinary tract infection panel. UTIs impact over 8 million Americans every single year, but they pretty much all get the same treatment. And that's why 47% of the time, this treatment is not appropriate. And that causes all kinds of complications. Pain, delirium, kidney dysfunction, and worst of all will be sepsis. 25% of sepsis cases originate as a UTI. And the underlying problem is the same. You need a culture to tell what antibiotic the patient should be taking, but cultures can take up to 3 days. So in the meantime, doctors have to make guesses. And all we have is a dipstick that can tell you within an hour whether the patient has a UTI, but the specificity of dipsticks is very low, which leads to the overprescription of antibiotics. Our solution is called the Jiddu system. That's what I called my grandfather growing up. In 1 hour, we tell physicians 1, if there is a UTI, 2, the load, and 3, what antibiotic this UTI should be treated for. This is a point of care test. It's a very simple concept. We detect the growth of the bacteria. It is very automated. It has very easy of use. It's not going to interfere with the workflow at the clinic. And more importantly, it is very cost effective. It costs us about $7 to build a cartridge. We plan to sell it for $50, and all physicians that adopt our test can get $100 in reimbursement. So it's a win for us, win for our customers, and more importantly, the patients are getting the proper antibiotics. We're about 2.5 years old, and within these couple of years, we're able to run multiple pilots. We went from 82% accuracy in 2022 to over 95% in general population and over 92% in patient with neurogenic bladder syndrome. That is the most complicated UTI population that anyone will encounter. We have many collaborators. We're working with MedStar Health, University of Middle School of Medicine, Children's National, many other places. The company is backed by Y Combinator. We're a Johnson & Johnson J-Labs company. The whole thing started with funding from the FDA back before we were even incorporated. And since then, we've been able to get funding from the NSF, BARDA, NIH, and the Maryland Industrial Partnership. We have raised about $4.8 million in dilutive funding. We are backed by Harvard. We're also backed by the R&D partner that we work with. We're backed by, she's independent, because of our focus on fem health. Many other notable VC firms and angel investors have backed us. This technology is backed by 4 patents, going from the algorithm, so we know whether it's a contamination versus a true UTI, the fluidic cartridge, because this was not an easy test to make, 15 minutes, and reagent mix, and finally, the way we develop our cartridges is also novel to Astek. I founded the company, and since then we've been able to build a great team. We're a total 8 full-time employees. Chris Kipwith is my CSO. He has 20 years of experience in microbiology. Scott O'Brien has been Chief Commercialization Officer for Genmark, Specific Diagnostics, and others. Rick Faint has about 6 exits as CEO and CFO for diagnostics companies. Thank you.